I got a lot of thoughts on this. KSI in the latest Sidemen video apparently said the P word, which is a slur in England. It's a slur in general, but like Americans don't know about it across the board. For those of you who don't know, in England, the shortened version of Pakistani is a slur. And it's actually a very common slur, for the record. Like, literally, every brown person has been called it. It's like the N-word for brown people in England. And I guess, like, Commonwealth areas as well. Maybe it's Pakistani minus the Stani, exactly. So I have even said that. I've talked about it before when how shocked I was to find out that it's like considered a slur. But KSI and the Sidemen are in England, so they do know better, right? It's a hyper specific, very British slur, but like it's hard to describe. For example, I was working out this morning with an English kid who lives in America. He's of Indian descent, and he immediately knew what we were talking about. No one else understood it because everyone else was American, but he was like, oh yeah, like I don't know how to describe the power of it, but other than just saying that it is basically the N-word for every brown person. People in Pakistan don't even know the meaning, Lamau. Yeah, this is a specific British or European slur. I'll explain it like this. The P word is a slur for brown people in countries where they call Indian and Pakistani people Asian. Okay? The colonies, the Commonwealth. Because like in America, we don't do that. That's why you never even like you don't even understand. If you're from a country where you do not classify, which by the way is not an incorrect classification for the record, but if you're from a country where you do not classify Indian people or Pakistani people as Asian, you probably did not know that this was a slur, but it is. Bro, in Pakistan and India, it's normal as fuck. We use it in my family too. Yes. I would go so far as to even say in the United States of America, most people don't know and might have thought that it was like a shorthand slang and not like considered a slur. Now, the reason why I mention all of this is because I have a pretty big American fan base, so they would not even understand it. Does that make sense? That's why I qualified it like 11 times before we got fully into the story, because it's like it's not something that they will understand. So here's the clip from the Sidemen video.
We need points in it, all right? I don't mean this maliciously, but the word I'm sorry. We need points. I don't. Guys, come on.
Nah, KSI, you're not funny, man. You can't say the P word in any context. These lot will do anything for content. So here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. Bro, why did you keep that? Why did you keep that in the drafts? This isn't a live stream. You know people are going to yell at you. You have the opportunity to cut it out. Like, what the fuck? Like, ultimately, I think, do I know anything about KSI? Do I think that it's like, it's something that he says all the time, or like he hates brown people or some shit like that? No, I don't think so. Not from what I've seen from him. It seems like he's edgy, but not like so far out there, like super racist. It more so almost feels like he just utilizes it as an opportunity. He like deployed it as a way to get a fucking boost. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it though. It's like one of those things where it's literally not worth it. Yeah, Tummer also pointed this out, which is smart, which is that what people should be thinking about is how that video got through filming and editing, presumably with multiple people seeing it to be published. Probably should have stopped to think what saying a racial slur and having all your mates laugh would look like. Like, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand. Again, if they were all American and they said this, it wouldn't even be in the same context, because people would be like, what's wrong? Why are people yelling at us? You know what I mean? Because like, it's not the same for sure. It's not like a commonly known slur in America. So for Americans, you're not going to get it. You're not going to understand it. In Indian and Pakistani communities, it is used as slang and not in a malicious context, but in the UK, it has a history of being used as a derogatory term. Exactly. Big star sitting right there too. Yeah. Why did they delete the whole video and not just cut it out? Why didn't they just not publish that part? This is what I don't understand. Like, this isn't a live stream. How does this happen? This is what I don't get. Because, like, on a live stream, sometimes people fucking say something that gets misconstrued, or sometimes people pop off. Like, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and you fucking pop right off, right? Like, I don't understand why both of these dudes are, like, they just have this weird thing. I mean, Logan Paul more so than KSI, because I gave props to KSI literally last week before this shit popped off, where like you have so much going. Like it is so incredibly easy to just not like get into controversy like this. I'm Black English. It's like the C word for Asians, but maybe a bit stronger. It was openly used by Pakistanis a lot more than the N word was used for black kids in school. Yeah, it's almost seen as like a more appropriate slur to say. It's obviously inappropriate, but like I think a lot of people consider it to be, I think a lot of people feel less afraid of like blasting it out there than they would of like saying the N-word. You know what I mean? I just thought it was short for Pakistani the longest time. Yeah, Americans don't really know that it is a slur, like straight up. I'm sure if you're British, this is like hard to imagine, especially if you're brown and you've like heard it. If you've had it deployed against you, like weaponized against you, it's like very hard to recognize that it is like completely, like Americans are completely oblivious to it, which is why I talked about it a lot. The P word, the Pakistani racial slur, a common misconception is that it's shortened version of Pakistani, similar to the word Scot for Scottish people. The P word is a deeper and darker meaning. Violent attacks from the 1960s to the 1990s against South Asians were also known as P word bashing. The attackers were supporters of the far-right fascist, racist, and anti-immigration movements, e.g. BNP and the National Front. For those of you who don't know, it's like the fucking EDL, right? EDL, like the English Defence League. Fucking hell! We're talking defending England. Islamic ray guns, supported by the British media's anti-immigrant and anti-Pakistani rhetoric and by systemic failures of British authorities. These attackers were formerly known as P-word bashers and skinheads. During 1955 alone, there were around 20,000 racist attacks on British POC, mainly P-word bashing. Talking about going to the P-word shops or calling others dirty P-word is a reminder of the suffering our parents and grandparents had to endure, the suffering that we still endure. It's part of a little British culture, right? Fucking hell. We're just having a bit of banter, lads. Doing a little bit of British culture here, innit? Anyway, the White House had to apologize. Wait, what? That's awesome. I had no idea. See, there is literally no better demonstration that Americans don't know about this than this. President George Bush's fractured command of international nuance landed him in yet more trouble yesterday as Pakistanis protest over his casual use of the abbreviation P word, which is widely regarded as an offensive epithet. There you go. There is no better demonstration that like Americans don't know what like the slur connotations than this. It's also the funniest story because like George W. Bush is a horrible monster and it's like unsurprising. This is like when I found out your last name is a slur. Yes, Piker, if it's considered pikey, is a slur because it's like it's a form of Irish travelers famously from Snatch, Brad Pitt's character. What does Piker mean in Turkish though? It has no meaning. My grandfather chose it. Okay, so yeah, he said that. Here you go. And then, yeah, again, this is what's like so confusing to me is not necessarily that he said it, because like him saying it is weird, right? Especially as a British person, it's like very odd that he thought that it wouldn't be like that big of a deal to just fucking deploy it. There's literally a brown dude in the Sidemen, Vic Star, right? So that's also like odd. Like he's just saying it right in front of him. So that part is odd as well. And you know, they're like homies, but like there are so many moments where they could have just, you know, avoided this controversy entirely by just not uploading it, like cutting that part out. And I don't know. By the way, we don't say brown people in the UK. Yeah, but I'm not in the fucking UK, am I? I'm not in the fucking UK, innit? Right? We're in fucking America. That's right. I say fucking brown people. I'm not fucking British. Why is saying colored people bad, but not people of color? It's just super out of touch. Language evolves always, right? Language always evolves. And now when you say colored people, you sound like you're a fucking racist from like 1965. It's the difference between blacks and black people. You know what I mean? Yeah, identity first versus person first language, I guess, is the proper term for it. Vic is Indian though, not Pakistani. Oh yeah, totally. Famously, Indian people are never called the P word in England because when British people, like British racists, deploy a slur, they will always go, "Where are you from, lad? Are you from Pakistan? Are you from India? Let me know so I can use the proper fucking racist term against you." Is that what you think is going on? The first person in the immediate aftermath of 9/11 that was murdered in a hate crime, in an anti-Muslim hate crime, was not a Muslim man. He was a Sikh man in Texas. A lot of people like to say Islamophobia is not racialized, but of course it is. Of course it's racialized. It's just like any and every person that's like a little bit remotely brown. Okay, that's it. The Sidemen said, during yesterday's Sidemen Sunday, a racial slur was said during the video. We accept that it was completely unacceptable and inexcusable. The fact that the incident made light of on the show was wrong and compounded the hurt. We deeply regret this and would like to truly apologize. We've reflected on this incident both collectively and individually and are truly ashamed that we let ourselves and you guys down in this way. We want to use our channels to promote positivity and great entertainment. We stand against racism and discrimination of any kind, and we failed to do that. Again, we are truly sorry and promise to do better. But yeah, contextually, I don't know why they were doing that. I don't know why they were doing the slur thing. Such a classic farce. Yeah, this is like an old YouTube classic. I want to apologize for saying a racial slur in a recent Sidemen video. No excuse, no matter the circumstances. I shouldn't have said it, and I'm sorry. I've always said to my audience that they shouldn't worship me or put me on a pedestal because I'm human. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna mess up in life. And lately, I've been messing up a lot. So I've decided I'm going to just take a break from social media for a while. That's what KSI's take was. And the thing that I don't understand about any of this is like, again, Prime is popping off. The Sidemen make great content overall across the board. It makes no sense. Like, it just makes no sense to just like deploy that and not stop it before it goes out. I don't get it. What's going on is I'm scared, okay? What the f? Why isn't it working? Ah! I'm sick and tired of faking like I'm not. Oh no! What the fuck? Ah! I love drop kicking old ladies. It's awesome.